For many centuries due to its strategic location and uniqueness. And for the most important part, Sri Lanka has been given many names by explorers and merchants who had visited this land in many years ago in our history. Pearl of the Indian Ocean, Serendib, Chapter and Ceylon are some of the names that has been given. So wishing you nothing other than a very good morning. To discuss some important facts for today, we have welcome to our studio Mr. Jeewana Fernando, Assistant Director, New Product Development. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We warmly welcome you.
Good morning.
Yes, so as I've stated, this is a ceremonious month of lunar, as we know, with the Asala Mahaperahara. It's a destination to not only the locals but foreigners, tourists who come around the world to the city. So as a matter of fact, to start the conversation, we are better to focus on the perception of the world regarding Sri Lanka. Isn't it good, sir? I wish we'll be talking about what sort of a perception that the world bears about our country.
A perception of a destination basically depends on the positioning of the country. When we talk about the positioning, we position Sri Lanka in main three brand pillars.
Yes.
That is authenticity, diversity and compactness.
Okay.
When we position Sri Lanka as authentic, diverse and compact destination and island also,
yes,
the perception of the tourist is more towards a country with anything. It is in the marketing aspect, it is very easy to us to promote the country because Sri Lanka has anything other than snow and
yes, glaciers, snow and glaciers. So, sir, you mentioned about these brand pillars. So, can you explain some bit about this authenticity, diversity, and compactness that we talked about?
When we talk about authenticity, we don't have any product. We have our products are authentic. Authentic means those are not created products. When we go to our hill country, it's an authentic climate.
Yes.
Authentic environment.
Yes.
Then when you go to the beach, it is authentic.
Yes.
Likewise.
Is it suitable for the destinations that the people seek who come to the country?
Yes. And authentic people. People are not acting by force.
Yes.
The people who are working in the tourism industry don't act.
Yes.
It's their authentic smile.
They are so genuine. And Sri Lanka is being known for this for many years. For being so authentic that they find it so familiar to be with the people of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then diversity, when we talk about the diversity, we have, as I told you previously, we have everything in Sri Lanka. We have hill country, we have beach, we have sunny climate, then we have cold climate. Then we have historical cities. Likewise, everything we have. Whale and dolphins. Then again, shipwrecks.
Yes.
Likewise, it is so diverse. And the third pillar is compactness. You can see the biggest mammal in the sea in Mirissa. Then within 2 hours, you can see the biggest mammal in earth, land, elephant. So it is so compact.
And they find everything in a small island.
That is why the perception comes to it is compact destination with everything.
So that means like with authenticity, and this compartment gives them a fuller satisfaction that many of them find it very interesting to be in Sri Lanka. So then moving on to something different, would it be better to talk about cultural tourism when we focus on that matter? What sort of initiatives that has been taken place up to this point? And yes,
Sri Lankan culture basically based on Buddhism. Identifying that we have started our Buddhist tourism trail.
yes,
The Buddhist tourism trail targeted 4 target groups. The first one is people who come to worship. The second group is people who visit the Buddhist places and shrines as visitors. The third one is people who want to do meditation and mindfulness. The fourth group is people who want to learn Buddhism. All those 4 groups come to Sri Lanka in our invitation,
yes.
and experience the Buddhist culture in Sri Lanka in different angles.
So, sir, as a matter of interruption, I just have one question that just came to my mind. Now, are these foreigners, tourists, now these people categorize the deviations that you just stated when they are let's say presenting their likeness to get to the country? I mean, prior to their visit, are they focusing on what categories that they would be coming to the country? Are they saying it before coming, they are mentioning it before or after coming to Sri Lanka that they find it?
In the modern day, with this with the internet,
yes,
people first search the country before you go to the country.
yes,
So in Buddha, when we think about the Buddhist trail, we are properly optimized in search engines.
yes,
So people, when people search for a Buddhist, not only a Buddhist tour in Sri Lanka,
yes, sir.
these cultural sites and these experiences come up. So before they come, they plan their trip. Where do I go? Then, as an example, Sri Dalada Maligawa is properly positioned. That's why people who come to almost all people who come to Kandy visit Dalada Maligawa. Likewise, they go to Atamasthana, Solosmasthana.
Yes.
They are visitors. And Sri Lanka tourism maintaining a separate promotional microsite containing containing products of all 4 targeted groups. In that website you can find Buddhist universities, meditation centers, international meditation centers,
yes.
who cater the meditation programs in different languages, then Buddhist shrines and pilgrimage sites.
Yeah. So, so Kandy is, let's say, a World Heritage City, and it is being demonstrated in the year 1988 that we are a World Heritage City. So, as a point to discuss this matter in regard to tourism, we see the most important event that is being taking place in this month, as I've mentioned. So the thing that I'll be wanting to know here with an honor is that now when we are deviating our attention to the month of July and August, the months of July and August, we have this Asala Maha Perahara. And it's such a traditional and a cultural event that many of the people, as I've stated, not only the Sri Lankans but also many people all around the world join this. So sir, I just need to know of what basis that we can make a connection to this cultural significance in Kandy in connection to tourism.
In many standard itineraries promoted by tour operators and destination marketing companies are place Kandy city as one destination. It's a must visit destination.
Yes.
So the Kandy city is having a great awareness within the tourism world. When we talk about the awareness, it created by search engines, then brochures of tour operators, and most importantly, the word of mouth. So for a tourist who come to Kandy city,
Yes.
to Sri Lanka, definitely knows the Kandy city, and they request their operators to put Kandy city into their itinerary. Recent past, we got in a research, it identified that many people like the roof structure in the Kandy city.
Okay.
In Kandy,
Yeah.
the roofs are same as the Dalada Maligawa roof. It has a unique structure. These are small components of components where the tourists attracted to the city.
Yes.
Then around country Kandy, there are several villages who are creating handicrafts. These handicraft villages also a good attraction to the city, even though they are in the periphery.
Yes.
People who come to city go to these handicraft villages.
Yes.
And visit see how the handicrafts are making.
Yes.
Then likewise it has a very good combination of experiences.
So not only the handicrafts, there may be a lot of deviations that is being connected to the interest of the people, and the people especially who come from different parts of Sri Lanka and also around the world. So we will be talking about the other attentions, the other attraction points after a small break.
The Legend of Senkanda, the everlasting glamour of our heritage.
Located in the central hills of Sri Lanka, the city of Kandy attracts the attention as one of the most beautiful destinations in the world. So, as we've been discussing, we deviated our attention to the different attraction sites and proportions with these foreigners and tourists direct their attention to. So, as a matter of fact, Sir, will be kind to continue the session about the different attraction sites and the people, the workers, what sort of effort that they are taking forth in order to, let's say, beautify the attraction of the country. We talked about handicrafts and we talked about the other matters. So as a matter of fact, if there's something else that we can have to talk about, the other example.
Actually, we have so many cultural sites also.
Yes.
Then we have underwater sites. There are about 200 underwater sites we have started marketing these underwater sites.
Okay.
From November. Every week there will be a video streaming session for Sri Lankan attractions and underwater sites. Then heritage cities, ancient cities. Likewise, we have enormous things to promote, and also there are so many attractions where the people can experience after coming Sri Lanka. Then another good product is tea trail. Tea trail means tea factories, then ancient plantation bungalows.
Yes.
Then powerhouses, ancient powerhouses. That means small Pelton turbines still in working condition. The colonial, it's a colonial era attractions. Western European country, the people who are coming from Western Europe, especially from UK,
Yeah.
very much like to go to visit the places whom their ancestors
Had been.
And for India, there's a cultural program called Ramayana Trail. There are some Ramayana sites also in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
We have much to take to the world.
It's just not only being cornered or confined to one particular sector, but there are a lot of other. Yes.
Areas to be promoted, and people who come and they can come and get experienced.
So as a deviation to whatever that we were discussing, now prior to this conversation about the attracting sites, we talked about the purposes that the foreigners come to Sri Lanka. Some, as you stated, some come for meditation, some come to learn Buddhism, and the others come to visit the Buddhist shrines, everything connected to culture. So I would also like to know, the audience would like to know, which countries do you promote in connection to this tourism and these factors that we are talking about, these segments?
The first segment is people who come for worship. Mostly Southeast Asian countries and Far East countries. People from Southeast and Far East come for worship Buddhist shrines.
Mm-hmm.
The top 10, we have a marketing program in top 10 Buddhist countries. That is Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, China, Japan, Korea. Likewise, the people who come from these countries are more wish for worship.
Yes.
Then people who are coming from Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and other countries like USA, Australia, and China also.
Yes.
They basically come to these Buddhist places for visit to get experience the site. And again, Western Europe and other industrial countries, we market these meditation and mindfulness programs because there are so many people in those countries who seek for a mindfulness programs because they are in a very busy life.
Yes, they do. In comparison to many of that we have to, of course, acknowledge the fact.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, yes.
So they come to these meditation sites, meditation centers for meditation programs. Most of the meditation centers in Sri Lanka are in very very beautiful areas. Yeah, around Kandy also there are about 30 to 40 meditation centers and yoga centers also. Apart from that, people who are from Buddhist countries like Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos, they come to Sri Lanka for learning Buddhism. Some students from Mahayanic countries come to Sri Lanka to learn Theravadic Buddhism. There are several Buddhist universities who provide services for tourists, for students who come to Sri Lanka for small and long-term learning courses. I think the Maligawa is also managing one university. So those are the countries we are targeting these products to market.
Okay, sir. So now, since our topic is related to the Sacred Tooth Relic and Asala Maha Perahara, I would also like to know what sort of promotions that you have made in connection to the Dalada Perahara.
From years, we promote Dalada Perahara with Sri Dalada Maligawa. This year we live streamed the Dalada Perahara in 3 Sri Lankan languages, Sinhalese, Tamil and English.
Yes.
Apart from that, Thai, Chinese, Japanese and Khmer language, Cambodian language, we initiated to live stream the final Randoli pageant.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is the first time. This is the first time which transmitted in 7 different languages.
So they find it really easy to get the meanings and the cultural importances. So in connection to that cultural importance, now we have different visitors. We discussed about the factors, we discussed about let's say the purposes that these foreigners have in visiting Sri Lanka, especially the city of Kandy. The point that I would like to raise is that now when we target the city of Kandy, other than all the importances and attraction sites in Sri Lanka, especially when we target the city of Kandy, what about the visitors' purposes? I mean, do generally they come as mere visitors or do they come with a cultural interest?
both the ways they come. In the current scenario, a tourist who before come to a destination, they search on search engines and get learned about the destination. When you search Google or any other search engine, Kandy city is there. The Kandy city comes to the first in the search. So then they go to the other step, research. They research further research and identified the product diversity around Kandy. It may be handicraft, it may be tea, it may be adventure sports around the city. Then or we'll say meditation center. Then they know, they based on their preference, they select the product they want to get experienced. So before coming to the destination, almost all tourist knows where he stays and get experience.
Yes.
So in group packages also, the two operators put Kandy city and the experience that they can experience within the controlled environment. That
Controlled
means
environment.
controlled environment.
Okay.
Because the whole group come to Kandy and go for another experience. But FITs do their own.
Yes. So with that, sir, one thing that I've noticed in our discussion, prior to our discussion, is that we have been very fortunate to provide such a service to Sri Lankans. As you've stated, we have always communicated through 3 languages. We have communicated through English, we have communicated through Sinhala and also Tamil. So that is very important, and that sounds very interesting when these languages provide an easy access for the outside world to get in touch with the cultural importances and different milestones that is being connected to, especially the Asala Maha Perahara. So for example, now when these foreigners, let's say tourists or visitors, kind of get this opportunity, that might also create some interest in their hearts, because they get the real meaning out of what is being paraded, the great procession that is paraded along the streets of Kandy. Not only that, but also different dimensions that is being connected with the cultural importance of the city of Kandy. So now, since we know that with whatever that we discussed with Mr. Jeewana Fernando, that these languages play a vital role. Why? Because these outsiders, the foreigners, the visitors would let's get a clear understanding of the cultural ceremonial months that we have this time. And also, as a matter of fact, we came in other different languages, not only just 3 languages, but 7 more languages to be given to inform the outside world about whatever that is happening in the city of Kandy. So by getting to know of how this procedure happens, of how these languages and how these Sri Lankan people are meeting up the world with different languages, while getting to know them, we'll have a little break.
Welcome to a celebration of an age-old tradition, a commemoration of the gods and the blessings they bestow upon this ancient island. paying homage to the sacred tooth relic of the Lord Buddha. In one of the oldest and grandest of all festivals across the Buddhist world, the Kandi Asala Perahara, this noble procession that began over 1700 years ago and remains to this day a unique symbol of Sri Lanka. Traditional dancers, drummers, bright lights, fire breathers, jugglers, musicians, acrobats, colour and magnificence guide generations of faithful through the tides of time. As Sri Lanka's most historic cultural event of the year takes place once again this August under health guidelines, we're inviting you to join the official live stream and witness living history and dazzling culture unfold in the glorious citadel of Kandy from your homes across the globe.
The Legend of Senkanda, the everlasting glamour of our heritage city.
උදතිද සබරි දිකුදලති හස්තිරාජවරු පෙරටු අලියතුන් පිරිවරා නෙක විකුම්පාන සහසක් නැටුම් කරුවන්ගේ රංග ස්වභාවෙන් මගදෙපස විසිතුරු කර සියක් පන්දම් කරුවන්ගේ එලි චමත්කාරයේ එලි රටා යට විභූතිමත් කන්ද උඩ රට සෙන්කඩ කල මේ සිරිතලතා පෙරහර සමයයි.
පෙරහර රූවරුණා හෙළකනම් වංගාලයක රූපමය සිරිය.
ශ්‍රී දන්තධාතුන් වහන්සේට පූජෝපහාරය පිණිස පවත්වනු ලබන ශ්‍රී දළදා පෙරහැර හෙවත් ඇසළ පෙරහැර මංගල්‍යය ආරම්භ වුණේ 310 වැන්නේ කිසිරි මෙවන් රජතුමාගේ කාලයේදී. එතැන් සිට දළදා කරඬුව වැඩමවීම සිරිතක්ව පැවතියා. අනුරපුර රාජධානියෙන් පසු පොළොන්නරු රාජධානියේදීත් ඉන් අනතුරුව දඹදෙණි රාජධානියේදීත් ඉන් අනතුරුව යාපහුව රාජධානියේදීත් ඉන් අනතුරුව කුරුණෑගල රාජධානියේදීත් එසේම ගම්පොළ රාජධානියේදීත් ඉන් අනතුරුව වැඩම වූ කෝට්ටේ රාජධානියේදීත් ඉන් පසු දළදා වහන්සේ සුරක්ෂිත භාවය සලකාගෙන වැඩම වූ සීතාවක රාජධානියේදීත් පෙරහැර පැවැත්වීම චිරාගත සම්ප්‍රදායක් වශයෙන් අඛණ්ඩව පවත්වාගෙන ආවා. එම පෙරහැර මංගල්‍යය තවදුරටත් සෙන්කඩගල මහනුවර රාජධානියට දළදා වහන්සේ වැඩම වූවාට පසු 1592 එවකට රජතුමා වශයෙන් හිටිය පළවෙනි විමල ධර්ම සූරිය රජතුමා විසින් ආරම්භ කරනු ලැබ මේ අද දක්වා එතැන් සිට අඛණ්ඩව අවිච්ඡින්නව කීර්තිශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ රජතුමාගේ සමයේදී 1753 වැනිදී මෙදා සිට අද දක්වාම මේ මෑතක් වනතුරුම භාවිතා කළේ පෙරහැර කරඬුව හැටියට කීර්තිශ්‍රී රාජසිංහ රජතුමා විසින් පරිහරණය කරනු ලැබූ රන්හිලිගේ ඔඩාහිඳුවා වැඩමවන දළදා කරඬුව හෙවත් පෙරහැර කරඬුවයි. මුල් භාගයේදී 1818 දක්වා මේ පෙරහැර කරඬුවේම තැන්පත් කොටගෙන කාලයක් වීදි සංචාරය කළත් දළදා හාමුදුරුවෝ වැඩමවන කරඬුව වශයෙන් ඉන් අනතුරුව නැවත පෙරහැර ආරම්භ කළ වීදි සංචාරයේදී 1828 වැන්නේ දක්වා දළදා වහන්සේම මේ පෙරහැර කරඬුව තුල තැන්පත් කොට වීදි සංචාරයේදී වැඩමවනු ලැබුවා.
පෙරහර රූවරුණා හෙළකනම් මංගල්‍යයක රූපමය සිරිය. බුදුදහමින් ඔපවත් වූ අපේ සංස්කෘතික දායාදය සංස්කෘතික දායාදය.
The Legend of Senkanda, the everlasting glamour of our heritage.
Asala Mahaparahara is one of the most important cultural events and oldest events that have been taken place for so many years in the world. A cultural event that is so old, that has been taken place so many times in the whole world, not only in Sri Lanka. So there are many interesting attraction, let's say, sites, interesting attraction, cultural deviations connected to this Asala Mahaparahara. Now, we of course as Sri Lankans have an idea of why this is so important. Why do we find this to be so popular among our history, our culture, that is of course connected to not only Buddhism, but the Asala Perahara is now a cultural unification with the 4 guardian deities that we have to prolong with. So, to continue the session, sir, I would raise the question as to why is this Dalada Perahara so popular among the tourists?
First point is, it is the cultural and artistic aspect of the Perahara. There are so many dancers, so acrobats, then fire dancers and drummers, musicians. Likewise, it is very colors. It's a pageant with vibrant colors. So that is the first thing. The most important thing in the tourism aspect is that this pageant, it is said to be that this is the 1711th pageant. It's an annual event. Everybody knows in August of every year, this pageant is definitely taking place. So people can plan it. People can plan to go to the Kandy Perahara after 3 years also, because they know this will definitely happen. Within this pandemic also, the management of Sri Dalada Maligawa placed it, this is the second year. First year, we didn't have at least a hope for a vaccination. In this year, we have the Perahara is doing in a bubble, and almost all the participants to the Perahara are vaccinated.
Yes.
It's a great achievement to have a pageant like this within a pandemic period.
Because it's a duty to ensure the safety of the people who engage in the parade as well as those who are coming to see it.
Yeah, and the continuation should be there. Otherwise, if we skip 1 year, then the continuation will not be there. Then people are reluctant to plan their travel in advance if the event is not sure.
Yes, sir. Before going to the situation that is connected with the current pandemic, so generally about how many foreigners do we have in connection to the visits that we have to Kandy?
I will come to a different approach for that. In Sri Lanka, there are, when we go to the tourism calendar of Sri Lanka, Ravel pattern, there are 2 peaks. The main peak is from November to March. That is the winter season in Western European countries.
Yes.
And when we go to a go through a when you visit the arrivals, historical arrivals, we can see a gradual increment in month of August. A trend to come for a peak. Then gradually it came to another peak in the tourism calendar.
Okay.
But in the recent past years, it shifted to the peak shifted to July, because the peak created by the Perahera.
Okay.
But this is the winter, the summer in Europe. Then they planned the summer vacation to Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Because of this peak identified.
Peak. So there it's really manageable as well. It's easy for them to manage the year as well.
Yeah.
Because when they have their vacation back in their countries, they can of course engage in watching Perahera, engaging in the parade, looking into it, having a cultural diversion in visiting to Sri Lanka, especially a country like Sri Lanka.
Yeah, the people who come in July, most of the time the second time visitors, repeaters. They came to they visited Dalada Perahera a previous year, and in their second tour, second visit, they come in July because of their vacation season, summer vacation. When we, as statistics, it's around 200,000 people come to the country in July and August.
To the country in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Each month, 200,000. It is around 9% of the total arrivals of the year. In July also, it is around 9%. August also, it is around 9 to 10%. When the percentage wise, 10% is a peak.
Peak.
Yeah.
Okay, so when in generally when such a number of foreigners come to Sri Lanka, some of them divert their attention to Kandy city as well. How are these foreigners being introduced to Kandy? What services and packages do they get when they visit the city? In almost all standard itineraries, Kandy city is there. Yes.
So they definitely come to Kandy city now. And it is a hub also. After, when you go to, if you want to go to Nuwara, you have to come to Kandy. Then you are going to Anuradhapura or Polonnaruwa. Then again you have to pass.
You have to pass through Kandy.
Kandy. Like it's a central hub of the country, so there's no much effort to take people to
get the attention. There is no effort that we have to put.
Yeah.
They of course pass through the city. Yes, so they get
and again it's a beautiful city.
Of course, it is beautiful. So with a mild climate.
Mild climate, and the Kandy Lake it's not a attraction, but it colors up the city.
Right in the middle of the hills, we have a lake. Yes. So, sir, what about the services and the packages that these foreigners would get? In general, if you are speaking, if there are any, you can just state the most important packages that these, as a matter of fact, that these foreigners are being given by you.
Actually, we are not providing packages to foreigners. We are the marketing body of Sri Lanka.
Okay.
We market Sri Lanka as a destination. We market Kandy as a destination. We are not providing packages. The tour operators and local destination management companies bundle up the packages and sell.
So that is not interlinked. It takes place separately.
It takes place separately because we promote.
Yes, sir.
Based on our promotion, we consult. We have a very good consultation with the industry when we are promoting a product. The packaging up and selling is not a job of Sri Lanka Tourism. It's totally private sector driven thing. But when we talk about the packages, normally 1 or 2 days are in itineraries. They put 1 or 2 days in Kandy as for overnight stay.
So in general, as you've stated that this is something happening separately, the promotions and the sector that provides services, what sort of a promotion that takes place in connection to the foreigners that comes? How do you promote in this sector, not only to the city of Kandy, not only confined to the city of Kandy, but how do you confine, let's say, give your attention and your fullest service as promoting the other parts of the Sri Lankan island?
Previously, we have a promotional programs more towards tour operators in overseas countries. Therefore, we participated in so many travel shows, trade fairs, and road shows, and to promote the destination within tour operators, and consumers also come to these trade fairs. But our target is to find new tour operators and tour operators who are not marketing the country. Then after invading the digital age, we have started our digital promotions in main 5 countries: UK, Germany, France, India and China. Then after under this government, we have started a huge campaign. It will be launched in early 2022. We plan to launch it in 2020, but due to this pandemic situation, we have not launched, which is a very costly campaign. It will cover 16 markets of Sri Lanka. Mainly, we have 2 ties in market promotions: UK, Germany, France, India, China, Australia, then Middle East and GCC, Russian countries. After that, another 8 countries like USA, Japan, Korea, then Scandinavian countries, then Poland. Likewise, we have another 8. In all countries, we will appoint PR agents, destination representation companies. Actually, today we have advertised our procurement notice to select all our destination representation companies and public relation companies for this main campaign, global communication campaign.
So as we know that this pandemic had turned out to be a crucial juncture in the lifestyles of the whole people around the world, not only in Sri Lanka. And since we are running out of time, as to mention, I personally came across of what vital role tourism play in ensuring the safety of the people that visits the country. As a matter of fact, to wind up the session, sir, one thing important that we should deviate our attention to, amidst the pandemic, amidst the trouble, amidst the safety insurances, the risks that the people might get, do you have anything to, prior to the end of the session, do you have any advice to be provided, a message to be provided to the visitors that come to Sri Lanka and also to Kandy?
Now we are with the approval of the health sector, we invite the tourist who has fully vaccinated tourist we can move to the community after their first PCR test.
Yes.
If they have not fully vaccinated, they have to stay 14-day quarantine period and go to the community. Before going to the community, we have taken the tourism development authorities closely monitoring the process.
Yes, sir.
Of individual people who come to Sri Lanka. So when we the message we have to say to the world is we are open.
We are okay.
We are okay, we are open, and the vaccination program is rapidly moving forward. So within 2-3 months, the whole Sri Lanka will get vaccinated.
And
then
it's in the safe hands.
Safe hands,
Yes.
and the tourists won't. The confidence of tourists may get
Hi.
raised.
Yes.
Then people will come to Sri Lanka without any fear.
Indeed, sir. So we had quite an interesting conversation with Mr. Jeewana Fernando, Assistant Director, New Product Development, Sri Lankan Tourism Promotion Bureau. So we are so thankful to you in joining with our session today. We learned a lot of different things related to tourism and how safety ensuring you are to the people that comes, not only to the Sri Lankans but the people all around the world. So thank you very much to you, sir, all over again. And yes, so in connection to the current pandemic, as we have ensured the safety, and we'll take initiatives that is being proposed in order to ensure the safety of the people, the risk of participating and looking forth to have a safe ground is in the near future. So meeting you up with something new in our next episode, we will be saying goodbye for today. Thank you.
Welcome to a celebration of an age-old tradition, a commemoration of the gods and the blessings they bestow upon this ancient island, paying homage to the sacred tooth relic of the Lord Buddha, in one of the oldest and grandest of all festivals across the Buddhist world, the Kandy Asala Perahara. This noble procession that began over 1700 years ago and remains to this day a unique symbol of Sri Lanka. Traditional dancers, drummers, bright lights, fire breathers, jugglers, musicians, acrobats, color and magnificence guide generations of faithful through the tides of time. As Sri Lanka's most historic cultural event of the year takes place once again this August under health guidelines, we're inviting you to join the official live stream and witness living history and dazzling culture unfold in the glorious citadel of Kandy from your homes across the globe.
The Legend of Senkanda, the everlasting